What's going on, YouTube? Everybody that's watching all across the world, wherever you may be at, thank you for taking time out to sit with me to have this this accommodating conversation at the table of the assembly. Uh, a couple of things that I want to go over, and I want to be as transparent and as honest as possible with my thoughts. I don't want to sound facetious or anything like that. This is just how I feel personally. You might think of this and see it in another way. It is what it is. I I watched a video, right? I don't know if you're familiar with Marquette from Sate in the Center, Intelligent Brother. I don't necessarily agree with 1000% of everything that he says. I've seen him on a number of different shows. He has his own. I've been following him for a few months now, more or less intently now, more than I have before. I appreciate his vocabulary, his style, and his approach to different subjects. They're very, very precise. Uh, how he incorporates and integrates his personality within the structure of his topics, they suit him very well. I wouldn't mind having a conversation with him, but a lot of these platforms, especially folks with names like his, they don't reach out or typically have discussions with people of my stature. I'm not a millionaire and I'm not flying from coast to coast, and I haven't been to any other countries outside of the United States. So the odds of him seeing this video is slim to none. If you by any chance happen to communicate with him, share this video, tag him. But it doesn't matter whether or not you're doing that. I just wanted to start off saying, I do like a lot of what he discusses. And one thing in particular that he brought up was a interview that was held by Charleston White and Princella the Queen. I think that's how she pronounces her name. She's basically uh, a former heterosexual woman who decided to switch teams and deal with women solely. Y'all should know who Charleston White is. He pretty much is anywhere and everywhere. He don't care what he say out his mouth. He's admitted on a number of occasions how he feels towards the black community, how he presents and puts himself out there for the public. He understands the internet. He understands what people want to see, what they don't want to see, what they want to hear, what they don't want to hear. He's one of the biggest antagonists that portrays himself to be an intellectual in the black community that I've ever seen. His choice of words are very controversial. Some people like what he does. Other people think he's a hypocrite. I mean, pick one. Pick one. But they had Mr. Charleston on their show, and there were some things that Marquette was speaking on that I thought was very, very significant. And I asked you the question, the viewer, especially my skin tone. He said that they choose NBA players, they choose musicians and artists that don't have the intellectual compensation to represent a community of black people. He said that the women and the men that they use to get in front of the camera to have discussions about politics, religion, culture, they're all handpicked by the ignorance of a society who looks at guns and prostitution, pills, drugs, poison. They look at people like Charleston White and Princella as someone who is supposed to stand at the podium in front of millions and millions of people and have discussions about healthcare and have discussions about being inebriated and using protection and just different cultural things that we face on a daily basis. He basically said we do not have anyone representing us properly. He also inserted that they avoid bringing him up on platforms. They avoid bringing other representation up on platforms with names such as his, with the background, with the history, with the statistics, the support, the claims that he is more than capable of being able to speak on behalf of other brown complected people. Unfortunately, those are not the folks that they pick. And I absolutely have to agree. Like I said, I don't agree with everything that he said, but I absolutely agree with this one in particular. And here's why. How is it how is it that you can get Megan the Stallion, who just openly went on camera and admitted that she falsified information that ended up getting someone prison time for 10 years? How is someone who shakes their ass and promotes chaotic, destructive music, how is that a representation of the black community? Why haven't we ever seen a doctor or a physician or a brain surgeon talking to Barack Obama or standing up there with Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump? How come we've never seen a philosopher or a philanthropist on these podcasts talking about marriage, talking about the dynamics between men and women? Why is it always someone who has either done prison time or is always someone who knows nothing but OnlyFans and promiscuity? All they know is how to gaslight and cuss you out and cut you off and interrupt you. Their body language suggests that they don't have a temperament control. They don't know how to sit across from someone with dignity, with pride, with honor, without shaming anyone. Why is it always NBA players, football players, rappers? Why is it always people like that? How come it's never someone like you or like me getting invited to these platforms to have these type of discussions? Why is Cardi B representing women and she's known for robbing and drugging men. How is she a representative for men and women? I absolutely agree with him when he said that. Princella is a lesbian who got her heart broke by a multitude of men. And what she's trying to do is convert other women to follow her sinful path, which we know if you really believe in the Bible and God, then you know that what she is doing is destructive and is causing people to sin and stray and go to a darker path. How is she a representative of women when she's speaking from a broken place? I'll never understand it. So I'll ask this question. I'm unbiased here. I'm willing to have the conversation. Do me a solid. Answer me this with facts and with all of the evidence provided. Show me where she has done something for the black community. Show me something where she has actually said something that wasn't out of emotion or she wasn't reacting because of something triggering her. Her and Charleston White, to me, just my opinion, they're not representations for the black community. In my honest opinion, they're monetizing off of the grief and off of the brokenness of the men and women who've never gotten therapy, who have never truly been healed or got the proper education to combat the things that harm them or hurt them. And if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Let me know.